28 last year, we launched the Africa Green Industrialization Initiative to promote the growth of clean energy that is going to assist in manufacturing and seize the economic opportunities within the global transition to energy transition. This can be achieved by mobilizing $1 trillion from public and private finance by 2030. And I say this in the context that all of us agree that there is now need to be a convergence between the renewable energy potential we have in our continent, the enormous mineral resources we have in Africa, and the huge human capital that we have in our continent, to be able to converge with the technology that is available in countries like Korea and capital that is available in countries like Korea to give us a win-win outcome where we can produce sustainably green products using African resources, technologies from elsewhere, and capital mobilized collaboratively to have production and consumption that is in harmony with nature and our planet. All of us agree that there is now need to be a convergence between the renewable energy potential we have in our continent, the enormous mineral resources and raw materials we have in Africa, and the huge human capital that we have in our continent, to be able to converge with the technology that is available in countries like Korea and capital that is available in countries like Korea to give us a win-win outcome where we can produce sustainably green products using African resources, technologies from elsewhere, and capital mobilized collaboratively to have production and consumption that is in harmony with nature and our planet. There is, ladies and gentlemen, huge opportunity for South Korean industries and investors to leverage the comparative advantages of Kenya and other African countries in clean energy by establishing reliable supply chain networks, decarbonizing production and consumption, and growing African and Korean economies. Let me just give you an example. It would be a win-win outcome if Samsung can produce their telephones in Kenya using geothermal energy from our resources, with Kenyan young people with a median age of 19 working in those industries and using raw materials of minerals from our continent and exporting it globally. It will be a win for Samsung, a win for Africa, and a win for climate. That is the kind of collaboration we are looking for. Thank you very much.
His Excellency President William Ruto, thank you.
We can no longer deny that the world is in the grip of a massive climate crisis everywhere. The intensifying onslaught of unprecedented extreme weather events and their impacts everywhere are parts of the new reality we must all learn to live with. Over the past few months, my country, Kenya, and the wider East African region have endured flood levels never seen before, which resulted in devastating destruction, including loss of lives and disruption of livelihoods. This season of destruction follows soon after the longest and the most intense drought, which lasted for 5 consecutive seasons and similarly left much death, destruction, and loss in its wake. Even in the context of these very devastating effects, Kenya is largely a clean energy country with over 93% of our national grid generated from renewable hydro, geothermal, wind, and solar sources. I say this because Korea and Korean industries are our partners in a number of projects that have contributed to this achievement. We have used Korean technology from Samsung to Hyundai in generating power in some of our power plants. This is the rationale of our ambition to enhance our current grid from 3 gigawatts currently to 100 gigawatts by the year 2040. The ambition is realistic because Kenya is endowed with abundant potential in every type of renewable energy. And I am sure this is very good news to Korean companies that manufacture the infrastructure that we use to generate renewable energy. 2023 was a pivotal year for transition to renewable energy. I say this because in COP28, we called for the tripling of renewable energy capacity and doubling of energy efficiency by 2030. On our part, African leaders endorsed the Nairobi Declaration at the Nairobi Climate Summit, which set the continent's green power generation target at 5-fold from 56 gigawatts in the year 2022 to at least 300 gigawatts by the year 2030, of which Kenya is targeting to contribute at least 97 of that 300 gigawatts by 2040. It is encouraging to note that the largest increase in renewable energy capacity was recorded last year, with the addition of about 500 gigawatts globally as a result of the injection of 600 billion in new investments. It is the largest ever increase in history that last year we had the highest generation of renewable energy, and it lends credence to our push towards renewable energy, and it speaks volumes of the agreements that we made in COP28 that finally all countries agreed to a phase out of fossil fuel energy. Africa, whose untapped potential of renewables is by far the highest in the world, could only manage 3 gigawatts of this increase of 500 gigawatts. The continent with the world's greatest potential and the highest demand currently accounts for only 1.6% of the world's total renewable energy. It speaks volumes of the kind of investment that is required to unlock this tremendous potential in our continent and drive not just green growth in our continent, but decarbonize both production and consumption in Africa and globally. And that is why, again, at COP28 last year, we launched the Africa Green Industrialization Initiative to promote the growth of clean energy that is going to assist in manufacturing and seize the economic opportunities within the global transition